Pod. This is going to be so fun for me. Hi, I'm Amy Porter, and this is my podcast. My mission is to show people how to empower themselves through music, business, and media. I try to see as clearly as possible how I can help. I showcase the music that I've played and the people I've met along the way. I'm a wife and a stepmom. You might know me as a professor, a performer, a producer, a publisher, a recording artist. I'm the founder of a couple of nonprofits. Welcome in to my PorterFlute Pod.
Welcome to PorterFlute Pod. I'm so happy you're here.
Welcome to PorterFlute Pod. It's 2024 and it's season 7. So I'm calling it the good luck season. We have new episodes featuring new topics and of course my advice that comes from a long life of performing and practicing. We'll celebrate our 100th episode, so it's an exciting time to be in PorterFlute Pod. With me in the pod, 2 new producers who are my students at Michigan, Isabella Carucci and Ella Hursh. They represent a segment of you, a demographic, if you will, that fits perfectly. They have questions, they have answers, they have advice. So I invited them to produce this season. Today's episode is called Performance Therapy, and we'll talk about how everything looks so easy when other people do it. We'll talk more about practicing to perform and what I do in the performances to make it look so easy. I have stories and advice, so stay tuned. And by request from the vault, the recording that only I own, my live performance in Kaohsiung, Taiwan with Chachi Su of Burton's Sonatina. Welcome to PorterFlute Pod. I'm so happy you're here. We all know something to be true to us. That means we can talk freely and share about things that we know about. We can feel comfortable talking in front of an audience. We could go on and on, truly. We all know something that can help others based on our experience. But today, we're going to ask the question, can you know something intuitively and make it look easy when you don't know much about it? Everyone makes it look so easy, but in the practice room, it's so hard. That's a feeling of loss before you've even taken a step. Dear friends, there are support systems out there we don't know about. If you see someone with massive amounts of output in a short amount of time, there's something about that. There are mothers and fathers and husbands and wives and sisters and brothers and grandparents out there helping these people. Probably. We can assume there's someone backing a career here if someone has a lot of recordings. It's just not poof coming out of the ether. Someone's networking. Someone's winning a prize somewhere. Someone is flat out having financial backing. We spend $15,000 to $20,000 making a CD to record it properly and provide a master to an unknown label who might or might not like you. And forget about marketing. That's expensive if you want the right person. And they know the right people at the LA Times, at the New York Times. And those reviews just don't happen poof out of the air either. It just looks so easy from the outside. And then you become jealous and you're coveting a career and you don't feel like any energy is left. So number 1 for me is creating your own ocean. Creating a space that fits into the world, into the planet. You're not being an isolationist by doing this, exactly the opposite. You're creating a world from something only you can offer. Then you put it on a website or a channel and you create something nobody else can do or is doing. See, nobody looks like you, plays like you. So develop your skill as you. Develop your persona. You can show your authentic self in every phrase and not worry that you'll be embarrassed. Develop your ability to learn with your teachers and get along with your colleagues, and you develop a presence, and you learn what works and what doesn't work. And if others are bothered by you, they aren't your audience. They're not your buyers. They're not your people. They're not your tribe. Strategic thinking can provide unprecedented growth for you in every way. Find a wonderful parallel between you and the greatest artists that you love. And don't think that, they're way above me, and put them on a pedestal. You find out what you like and you steal what you like about your favorite artist. What attributes do I have and they have that can make me more me than ever? Have a story, a promise, a secret, some proof that your career and your message is genuine, something only you can tell. And that looks easy to someone who's listening. Give people a reason to want to talk about your story to others, and ask others to share your work if they found it valuable. Make it easy for people to share your content and create something so amazing that everyone has to share it. And smile while you're doing it. Smile while you're creating it. And smiling makes everyone more comfortable and not threatened in any way. So smile and show your joy.
I'm Isabella Carucci.
And I'm Ella Hursh, and we're excited to be in the pod with Professor Porter as producers this season.
We are friends, roommates, and studio mates at the University of Michigan, both entering into our senior year. Right now, we're talking over Zoom in two completely different locations, which is very different than our usual conversations in our living room in our apartment in Ann Arbor.
Izzy, what are you up to this week?
I'm just at home practicing and preparing to leave for Aspen Music Festival in a few weeks. How about you?
Right now, I'm preparing to head back to Michigan next week, actually, for the Michigan State Conducting Symposium. So since Izzy and I are both preparing for upcoming performances of sorts, we want to ask Professor Porter, how can your everyday habits help or hurt you when you have major performances coming up, and should you change anything on the day of a big performance?
Well, I think it's most important to get rid of the all or nothing thinking. We have daily habits for a reason. We are going to change our relationship with exercise and coffee and alcohol and people on the day of the concert. I think that's putting a lot of undue stress on yourself. And, you have to take care of yourself within your daily life's support system. Progress comes, not perfection. So you're not being more perfect by giving up your daily experiences. You need to do more in your life of self-love and more sleep and more patience. Also, every performance should be treated in the same way, like you're about to perform with your favorite orchestra or your favorite pianist that you admire. Like every night is Carnegie Hall. In this way, every performance will have a routine of positive energy around it, and you'll try and make this concert the best one of your life. Even for an audience of 5 people. Even at 8 o'clock in the morning. Especially in front of children. If you say, I only have a kiddie concert, then watch out for the ramifications of that thought. If you say, I have to play Afternoon of a Faun, and then you play it at 8 o'clock in the morning in nowhere, Georgia. Well, I had to do that. And these people find me years later, and they tell me they grew up listening to me in the Atlanta Symphony. Thank goodness I have this thought that every performance is Carnegie Hall. And it made my Carnegie Hall performance last year so much fun.
Thanks for that advice, Professor Porter. Izzy, I know that we've talked a little bit about your experiences with performance anxiety this past semester. Is there anything you could share about those?
Of course. So personally, I've had multiple experiences with the manifestation of my nerves changing over the course of just a few weeks, actually, this semester. When I performed the piccolo part of Daphnis and Chloe by Ravel with the University Symphony Orchestra here at the University of Michigan, I experienced sweaty hands from nerves, which is actually very typical for me. But literally just a few weeks later, when I performed the Renaissance Concerto by Lucas Voss with the Perrysburg Symphony Orchestra in Ohio, I had extreme dry mouth by the fourth movement for the absolute first time in my life. So our question to you, Professor Porter, is should you expect to get nervous in the same way for every major performance?
Thank you for sharing your experiences, Izzy, and thank you for your questions, Ella. I don't think you should expect to be the same for every performance in terms of nerves. Nerves are sneaky. And so the biggest factor is to believe in yourself and take the steps to make the changes for self-love, right? You want to give yourself a big hug before each concert. You don't want the negative to come in. Every concert is with different people. And so every concert should be felt as important, as I said, and you don't want to let others down. Making yourself feel confident is a great important feeling that's so important for a really good concert. Know how to walk on stage confidently. Know how to look at the audience confidently. Know where to put your hands and your instrument when you're not playing. And don't forget to smile, as I said earlier. These things add to your whole stockpile of performance tools that you can take on stage with you every time. One other factor about musical ease is that if you don't practice performing in front of people, it won't get easier. Sometimes it never gets easier, but again, if you believe in yourself and you hone your skills in the areas of your performing, everything will improve. 9 times out of 10, the work will pay off, the kinks are worked out, and you feel relaxed. And that's it. Playing in a relaxed way, feeling open, feeling the rush of wind through your body. And you're not tight and you're not uptight. It's just music flowing like a river out of you into the world. It's your ocean that's encompassing everyone. And that is your performance. That is how to walk on stage like this is my time. Only you can bring your music to the world. So try and make every time a positive experience. Now let's get into the musical aspect of making things look easy. Some people make it look easy when they're up there on stage, and some are flawless and some are not. Some people make mistakes, mishaps, edits, and worse than that, they own it and the score's right in front of them. So is that called faking? That's thinking they've got it when they don't got it. And you've heard me say this before. If you say, I've got it, you don't got it. It's that thinking that you found the way through and you shout for joy because you did it right once or twice or 3 times. Is that good enough? Stand back and ask yourself, honestly, can I do this 50 times perfectly in a row in tune? Probably not. And therein lies our issue. It's not going to sound easy until it is easy. And that takes patience, practice, and above all, time. Thank you for being in PorterFlute Pod, and thank you, Izzy and Ella, for helping me produce Season 7. If you enjoy our show and you want to review us and rate us, go to Apple Podcasts. You can find our show at PorterFlute.com. And you can find me at amyporter.com and on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and YouTube. I'm PorterFlute. Thanks for being in PorterFlute Pod. I'm so grateful for you.